Welcome here to our masterclass, How to Get Your Spouse Back Without Getting Your Heart Hurt. I'm really excited that you're here. And so, yeah, let me know in the comments where you're joining from today and anything fun that you may have done in the last 7 days. I know there's a lot of things in our world right now that kind of feel out of control. And I like to focus on the things that we can control because that's where our power is, right? So I really want to interact with you guys. I want to have some fun. And most importantly, I want to help you save your marriage. So I use the chat a lot. I like to make this dialogue, not a monologue. So go ahead and use that chat feature to post any questions that you have. Really tune in and listen to an aha moment that you might have. And we're going to share some pretty cool things today. I'm going to talk about our 4-step system to save your marriage without getting your heart hurt. And this will work even if your spouse is completely checked out, even if there's an affair going on, and even if there's no communication happening, or there's just complete lack of trust, as long as you commit to do exactly what I'm going to outline here. I went through my own marriage struggles, and following these steps has been a game changer for me, as well as the thousands of clients that we've helped now around the world. So I want to ask you guys, what is your situation? For most of the people that join us in these master classes, you may have never heard of us before, so welcome. But you may fall into one of these situations, right? A divorce has already been filed, right? Your spouse has already, talked to a lawyer. They have the divorce papers in hand, right? And you want to do, how to cancel that and get them back with you forever. And maybe you're struggling with no trust. There's an affair, lots of trust issues going on. You can talk to your spouse, but your spouse doesn't believe what you say or what you do, or vice versa, right? Maybe they had the affair and you're struggling with the trust and they're saying, I'm in love with someone else, I want out, right? Or maybe there's just really poor communication. So majority of the time, it would be communication. So let me know in the chat which of these you guys feel like fits your situation the best. That you just really can't talk without arguing, or maybe there's just complete stonewalling. There's no communication going on, right? Your spouse doesn't believe what you say. Your spouse doesn't open up. They avoid deep communication. Maybe even you're able to talk about surface level things, but you aren't able to talk about the deeper things going on. Or every time you bring up the relationship, they kind of put up a wall, right? So let me know in the chat. I love to use the chat if you're just joining me. What is your situation? I want to make this really custom to you guys and applicable to what is going on with you. So Matt says conversation and trust. Awesome. Thanks, Matt, for sharing that. Amy says communication, different perceptions. He hears something different than what I say. Yep. And Willie says no trust and communication. Okay, so I'm definitely seeing a theme here with the communication. And I'm the first to raise my hand that when my marriage is struggling, and I've been married almost 15 years, my husband and I, we have 8 children. But when we're struggling, like, communication is always the first thing to go out the window, right? Samantha says communication, never believes me. I don't know how to say that name. India, I think I like to say names correctly, so I apologize if I got that wrong. No communication, no trust. And Jody says trust. He says, I'll never trust him. All right, so let's get you some help there. And as a reward for sticking to the end of this hour that we have together, I'm going to give you, I will send via email to everyone who stays at the end, our 7 proven conversation starters that's going to help you with that communication that you guys just said you want. We normally charge $47 for this one training, and I'd love to give this to you. I really have found this awesome. It's very, very helpful in knowing what to say and how to say it. Nicole also agrees, communication. Yeah. And so we will help you with that. With this, you're going to be able to stay to the end and I will send it to you. It says a download link. I'm actually going to email it to you. I always take a screenshot of those that stay to the end. These are ways that you can handle, a rough text message, like how to respond to that, a conversation, a phone call, and give you guys the right tools here so that you can handle these situations effectively. Sound good? You guys like that? Chris says, separated wife doesn't trust me and feels neglected. Yeah, Nicole, no communication. He's talking with the divorce attorney tomorrow. So you guys excited for this? Awesome. Matt says, that's amazing. Cool. So that's what I'm going to give you. So who am I? My name is Heather Choate. I am the co-owner of High Thrive Coaching with Mark Johnston. And I was diagnosed with breast cancer at the age of 29. while I was pregnant. You can see here on the side, my bald head, my big pregnant belly. I was pregnant with our 6th child, and going through that completely woke me up to the painful stories and cycles that I had been in most of my life. And I realized I didn't want to live the rest of my life that way. I didn't want the rest of my marriage to go that way. And that isn't who I wanted to be for my children. And so I set out to heal some of those deeper things inside myself and to completely transform my marriage as well. So I'm not going to share this little video, but I would love to have you check it out over on YouTube if you'd like. It's on our High Thrive Coaching channel as well. And so just a little bit about High Thrive Coaching, who we are, why we're qualified. We've been on CBS, on Fox, on First for Women. I did an interview there a couple of years ago, and we've been doing this for 5 years, for half a decade, and we're overbooked. We currently have over 2,500 clients and students worldwide, and we've literally coached and taught tens of thousands of students now. And with our program, we believe it's the best out there, and it's specifically geared towards those facing divorce that are having major challenges in their marriage. I believe therapy is a great option, like if you just got married and or maybe you only fight occasionally. However, if your marriage is really struggling, it's usually just way too slow. And we like to see our clients truly succeed. So most importantly, for you guys, because this is about you, we researched for you what we've now defined as a step-by-step process to help you get your spouse back. So after working with, first few clients, we noticed that traditional therapy, traditional methods just really didn't work for this type of situation. If your spouse is wanting out, if they're checked out, if there's an affair, if they want a divorce. So we studied for years, hundreds and thousands of marriages and divorcing marriages, right? And figured out exactly what takes a marriage to work and what needs to happen there if your spouse is checked out, so that they want to come back. They want to be with you again. They see the possibility of being happy with you again, right? And most people need to fix, it's just one little thing. Okay. It's a one little thing, but it makes a huge difference to get their spouse back. And that's what I want to share with you today. This was a game changer, and I'm excited to talk about it with you guys. So I want to begin here with an exercise. We are coaches, and so we always give actionable items. So I want to do an exercise with you guys right now. You game? You good for that? All right. I want you to ask yourself these 2 questions. And if you want bonus, points as being a good student, then post it over here in the chat and let me know your answer to these 2 questions. Where do I want my marriage to be 3 months from now? Where do I want my marriage to be 3 months from now, 3 years from now, 30 years from now? Where do I really want my marriage to be? I want you to really consider that question seriously. And what does your innermost self want, right? That kind of inner part of us that knows truth and that speaks truth to us. Sometimes we have to tune out all the fear and all the other voices so that we can really hear that and hone into that. And I'm going to watch over here in the chat. I'm watching for you guys. I want to know what your answers are. I want to know where you want to be. And how will it feel to have my spouse in love with me again? Completely in love. Like maybe back in your early dating days or your early married days, what was that like to have your spouse and you both feeling safe and secure and completely head over heels in love with each other, right? Willie says, having better communication and to end the separation. Awesome. I would say that 95, 99% of our clients are in that same place. There usually is a separation that has happened. And if not, then it's even, there's less work to do there, but most of our clients are in that situation and having better communication. Scotty says 3 months from now for us to start talking about possibility for us to plan a new future. And Jody says to feel I am important to him again. Beautiful. So now really, sink into what would that feel like to achieve that, right? How awesome would that feel? What kind of a difference would that make for you in your life? How would you sleep at night? How would you go to work, right? How would you be with your children? How would you feel at the end of the day and at the end of your life, honestly, as you look back on this moment right now and the decisions that you made, right? Nicole says healing as individuals and as a couple. Awesome. DK, reconnected and full of intimacy. Nicole, cherished and at peace with my best friend. Oh, I love that. Awesome. So that is what we want to help you get there, right? We want to help you get there with this method. So this is our big discovery. This is what I'm really excited to share with you guys. After working with thousands of couples, we found one little thing that was a big reason why marriages were ending in divorce, okay? We discovered, and I say it's something kind of insane because it took a long time for us to even figure this out, and literally no one else is talking about it. My partner, Mark Johnston, came from 10 years of the traditional therapy background, realized that wasn't working. So we set out to create a new method together. And even still, giving everything that we could, we got able to, couples able to communicate again. We got them to be friendly one with another. And yet still, some of them were wanting a divorce. And we realized there's something that we were missing, okay? And when we discovered this, it has changed everything for our clients. Here's what it's not, before I tell you what it is, okay? It's not, quote unquote, working on yourself. How many of us have heard that, right? Chris, Matt, Scotty, Nicole, DK, all of you guys here joining me today. How many of us have been told in order to save your marriage, you just need to work on yourself, right? I was told that. I can raise my hand. And here's the deal, guys. It makes sense at a certain level because we need to control what we can control, like focus on what we can control. We know we cannot control our spouse, right? Bummer, huh? What we can't. So we need to work on ourselves. Matt says, OMG, yes, work on yourself. I hear this all the time. Nicole says, yep. So we would ask our clients, how are you doing working on yourself and making these positive changes on becoming, a better person and all these things, right? And they'd say, oh, I'm doing great. Like I lost weight, I'm getting into shape, I exercise, I work out at the gym all the time. I'm better with my kids. I'm more present at home. I help out with the household chores. I make dinner. I do the laundry, right? I listen more. I'm more understanding. I meet their needs more, whatever it is, right? I'm more affectionate. I'm more physical. I'm more sexually available, whatever it is, right? I stopped drinking, complaining, neglecting my spouse. I stopped the affair. I meditate. And we'd be like, that's awesome. Good job. And we'd ask them, how is your marriage? And they'd say, we're still getting a divorce. And Emma, Matt, yeah. I'm not at your house, but yes, I am reading your mind. No, it's just, we've done this so many times. We know what it's like, and we've been there ourselves. So working on yourself is not the solution for saving your marriage. It's not, okay? It's a great solution for personal development. And I'm going to show you how you can do both, okay? The solution is to work on changing your spouse's story and even their beliefs about you, okay? In other words, we're going to kind of market ourselves to our spouse, okay? Not in a sleazy sales type of way, no, but in genuinely showing them the truth of who we are so that they will believe that story. And it's not about working on yourself, okay? Here's our big discovery. 98% of the time, our spouse, they've built up a belief about us, which is justifying their reasons in leaving. Now, I want you to say in the chat if any of these sound like the story that your spouse is giving you, like the reasons why they want out. It's justifying why they want to leave, okay? Here's some common ones. My spouse, you won't change. They say, you, Scotty, Matt, Emma, Nicole, other Matt, you just won't change. Or, I can tell that you've changed, but it's probably only temporary. It might be a manipulation just to get me back. And if I come back to you, then things are just going to go back to the way they were, and I'm just going to get hurt again, right? I can't trust you. You broke my trust 2 years ago. You had that affair, and I tried to make it work, but bottom line is I just don't trust you anymore. And if I don't trust you, we don't have a marriage. Without trust, there is no love, right? So we hear that sometimes. How about this one? I love you, but I'm not in love with you. That's a really interesting one to me. I'll go into that maybe in a little bit, where that one actually comes from. I need to, quote unquote, find myself. Amy says, yeah. Yes. Matt says, yes. Scott says, exactly. Jody says, I'll never change. Yep. I need to find myself. Or maybe we're better as friends. We're better as friends. We can co-parent. Maybe it's even better for our children if we're not fighting all the time. Maybe we're better separated. We're better off on our own, right? I can't be happy here. Samantha says, yes, that one. Not being in love and wanting a fresh start, whatever that means. Yes. I hear not in love with you, Nicole says. Exactly. I don't get what I want. You don't meet my needs. You don't listen to me. I've tried to tell you this for years and you're not listening, and I'm not happy here and I'm done, right? I'm done. So these are some of the things that we hear. And here's the kicker, okay? These are all symptoms of the deeper issue. And we have to remove those beliefs or they're not going to come back. So making all the positive change in the world isn't going to work. Here's the old model, right? Improve yourself, which take years, right? And then you hope that your spouse notices, and then it's too late. The new model, our PATH method that I'm going to share with you, what PATH does is first, it makes your spouse notice, right? About 2 months, then you're going to get back together, and then you deeply improve yourself and you become that change that you really want to see, okay? So that's the old model versus the new model. And the new model isn't just hoping and praying that your spouse sees these new things about you, but they actually are going to tell a new story about you and the marriage. And that new story is that they can be safe and happy with you. And it doesn't take years of therapy to do this. It doesn't take years of trying to do it yourself, only for it to end in divorce. It happens in a relatively short amount of time. And I'll show you what that looks like here in a little bit. So it sounds right easy, but how do we actually show them that the changes we've made are real so they believe us, right? So what we do is we show them that you've changed without you even saying it, right? Because saying something and being something are two different things, right? And it's a simple 4-step process, because I believe we should keep things simple, right? KISS, keep it simple, sexy, not keep it simple, stupid. You're not stupid. So keep it simple, but it is effective and it works. So let's go into it. We call it the PATH method. You guys excited to hear about it? All right, the PATH method. It is an acronym. PATH, P-A-T-H. PATH stands for peaceful communication, getting communication open and getting it to a good state, an effective state, right? That's the first step. Adjust how they see us. So we start to change their story about us. We rebuild that trust that they can be happy with us, that they want to be with us. And then we increase the hope and kind of close the whole deal. So I'll show you exactly how we're going to do that. And again, I encourage you to sink into your intuition, sink into that aha moment that you're going to have here. Really pay attention to that, because that's like your inner self saying, come this way, come this way, come this way. And when you take a step in that direction, you're going to be led to where you really want to be. Cool. All right. So the PATH method is different because, unlike many other methods, we focus on giving you the love you crave as fast as humanly possible. We like to give immediate relief to the situation that you're in because we've been there ourselves, right? It's not the typical therapist model, because therapists most often need both the husband and the wife to get results, and we do not require that whatsoever. In fact, we've proven that if we have one willing party, that we can make tremendous progress in the relationship. Some therapists will turn you away if your husband or your wife won't go to counseling with them, right? Therapists rely on you to go to them for as long as possible. They kind of want you coming back for not all of them, but some want you coming back week after week after week so that they can continue to have a client. And we actually want to get rid of you as fast as possible because we want you to master these things and move on. And therapists are actually usually not allowed to tell you what to do. That's why they talk about a lot of old problems. They kind of rehash things, and they don't often give specific action steps because insurance dictates what they can and cannot do. However, with coaching, we work with you even if your spouse is checked out, if they're not willing to work with you. Like I said, we actually want to get rid of you. It's our favorite thing when someone graduates and no longer needs us, right? And it works fast without hooking you into buying sessions for years. We want you to apply these things and move on. And like I said, we're coaches. So we tell you word by word what to say, and I'll show you what that process looks like. You know, what to text. Say you got a really nasty text or something just completely threw you for a loop. your spouse comes home and drops a bomb on you and they said, you know what, you're right, I was having an affair all those years and I'm leaving you and I'm going to go be with them, right? What do you do in that kind of situation, right? And then what to do in front of your spouse for them to see that you have changed. Does that sound good? Does that sound like what you guys are needing and wanting? I want to make sure that we are here on the same page together. So I'm going to break it down step by step. Willie says yes. Scotty says unbelievable. Matt says, of course, yes. Cool. All right. So here in the PATH method, we're going to do first a root assessment. And let me explain why this is so crucial. Here we scientifically assess your marriage to determine what the root issues and perceptions are behind their story. Remember their story. I love you, but I'm not in love with you. I can never trust you again. We're better as friends. We're better to co-parent, right? That's the symptom. And we need to determine what the root issues are that are causing that story to be created in their mind the past weeks, months, and sometimes years, okay? Here's the thing. Most of us, we can guess what one or two of those reasons are. Like we can say, okay, you're saying you can't ever trust me again because yes, 2 years ago I did have an affair and I've been trying to show you that I'm trustworthy, but I understand why you still believe that, right? But here's the kicker, guys. There's always 1 to 2 more reasons that we are completely unaware of. We have no idea that that's what's going on in their head. We don't. We might think that we know, and the more that we think that we know, the more wrong we actually are, okay? And I know that's kind of hard to swallow, but if you can swallow that, then that's when you can actually see some results, okay? Some magic happen for you. Not magic, but results. And unless we unearth all 4 of these reasons, there's usually 4, sometimes 5, but usually 3 to 5, you won't likely get your spouse back. I'm not here to pump you full of hope and unrealistic expectations. I'm here to make it real for you guys, okay? So that's where we come in and we help you uncover what all of the reasons are that they've built up that story, okay? So that's step 1. Now that we've uncovered exactly what the issues and the perceptions are, now we actually know what needs to be changed instead of guessing at it, or instead of thinking that we know completely why they're thinking this and why they want out and that we have all the answers, and then we get it completely wrong and our spouse continues to pull away from us and, goes down that road. Now we know what needs to be changed. For me, when my husband was, really cold and distant from me emotionally, I had no idea what needed to be changed. I had no idea why we'd gotten into this place. I had no idea what to do. And so contrast that if you're like where I was, and I assuming, I don't want to make assumptions, but probably a lot of you guys are. I don't know what to do and what I've been doing isn't working. Now we're going to show you exactly what needs to be changed. Okay? Oh, my slides are getting weird. There we go. All right. So then that brings us to step 2, where we're going to open communication. And you guys said this is what you guys really want. So let's pay attention here, right? Open communication. This part is going to be a game changer for you. And I had the biggest aha moment when I learned this, and so many people have a big aha moment. So let's dive into it, right? If we can't talk to them, we can't change their story. Makes sense, right? Pretty logical. And so it's a big problem that we have to solve first. We always have to start with opening up communication. And you might be anywhere on the spectrum from no communication, completely closed off, complete stonewalling, to, we communicate, but we fight and we argue and it's volatile and it's mean and it's nasty and it's never effective, right? There's name calling, there's blaming, there's bringing up past issues, all the way to, we're even able to talk as friends. Like we can talk about other things, but as soon as it comes to our relationship, they shut down or they close off, right? And so wherever you are on that spectrum, these same principles are going to apply, okay? But I want to be real here, okay? Here's the truth. It's going to be ugly. It's going to be ugly. The goal at the beginning here isn't positive communication right now. Weird, huh? It's true. It's just to get communication open. And let's be honest, like it kind of stinks. A lot of people don't want to face that. And it's often hurtful. It's often volatile as our spouse kind of brings all their negative beliefs about us and about the marriage in our face. But what we need to do is take a deep breath because it actually means that we've achieved a huge milestone, especially if they were completely closed off or stonewalling. Now you at least have them talking about what's going on, right? Even if it's not fun and pretty. And so here's what we need to do. We need to get that communication going. And even if it's the ugly kind, how do we do that? How do we finally get them to open up, right? I can hear you guys asking, like on the other side of this masterclass, like, Heather, okay, this sounds interesting. I need to get communication, but how do we do that? So here's what we're going to stop doing. There's a couple crucial things that are the big aha moments for most people. And 99% of people make one of these mistakes, if not all of them. And I can raise my hand and say I was right there too, right? And so we need to stop demanding that they work on the marriage. It's true. And we often might say things like this, like, you made your marriage vows that you would stay with me in sickness and in health, for better or for worse. You vowed, you covenanted, you promised with me, we need to stick it out and make this work for the kids. Our religion might be against divorce, right? And we say these kind of things, but here's the truth. If we come at our spouse with demands that they work on the marriage and they are already checked out, is that going to pull them closer to us, or is it going to push them further away? You might be 100% justified. They did vow. They did make a promise. They did make a covenant. It probably would be better for your kids, right? It might be against your religion. But the more we push them to work on the marriage, the more it's going to push them away. Matt says, yeah, push them away. Scotty, push them further away. Exactly. Another thing that we must stop doing is manipulating. Like, I'm going to take the kids. If you don't come back to me, I'm going to ruin your credit. I'm going to ruin your reputation. I'm going to wreck you financially. And really what we're trying to do is get them to come back to us. We're trying to like threaten them or scare them to come back, which is kind of weird, but we do that sometimes. And of course, the manipulation is only going to push them further away. The pleading, please come back to me. Please don't do this. Please, 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 please. We get so desperate, acting out of desperation. Where does this really come from? Where does all of this come from? It's very instinctual. It comes out of fear. And sometimes we act with desperation and we do the pleading and the manipulating, and sometimes we freeze, the fight, flight, or freeze response, right? Because we're scared. We don't want to lose them. We don't want to lose our family. And so we end up doing nothing out of fear sometimes. And so all of these, exactly, Matt, fear comes from fear. And fear is a very natural, normal response. But if we stay stuck in our fear, the thing that we are afraid of is the very thing that we're going to bring about. So we have to learn how to shift out of fear, how to emotionally process through things. This was a huge game changer for me, so that we can act from a calm, centered state and not out of fear and desperation. Imagine you're in a room with someone, like, it makes sense, right? Imagine you're in a room with someone and they're really tense and they are really afraid, and they come at you and they're like, you need to do this, or you need to do that, or please don't do this, please don't do that. And what do we instinctively want to do if we're receiving that energy? Like, we want to back away, right? We want to create some space so that we're safe. And that is what our spouse is doing anytime we do this. And we may even actually be like fighting for our marriage in positive ways, like sending them love notes and bringing them flowers, or, saying, I'll do all these things. I'll do all this. I'll do all this. I'll do that, all this. And it might be even like positive things that we think we're doing. But if the underlying emotion is still fear and desperation, they will sense that. And they will want to create space from you so that they feel safe. So we need to shift that and get into what we need to do, which is to become a safe place for them, right? So here's what we need to do instead. We need to take the pressure off. Take the pressure off of them, take the pressure off the marriage, and take the pressure off of us. That's challenging because we want our marriage to work. Like, this whole idea is we want to save our marriage, right? We want to restore our marriage. We want to have a happy, thriving marriage. But when we are putting so much pressure on it, I think about it kind of like, I have a 6-year-old daughter and she loves animals so much. And we were over at a friend's house a couple weeks ago and they had kittens, right? My friends didn't have kittens. Their cat had kittens. That sounded weird. Anyway, so she was playing with them and holding them. And I noticed this kitten started squealing, like, not squealing, that would be like a pig. Okay. Like really meowing. And I realized she's like almost about to squeeze the life out of this kitten because she loved it so much. And I had to show her, Naomi, you've got to let it go, and it needs to feel safe with you. And when you do that, then it will want to be your friend. It will want to come and play with you, and you will be able to enjoy having the kitten be around you, right? And so that's what we do here, is that we need to take the pressure off, because sometimes we love something so much, it's almost like loving them to death. Like we want this so bad that we like squeeze the life out of the relationship. And the shift happens there. Exactly. Instead of, like Nicole's saying here, right? Instead of the marriage, we shift the focus, not on even on us, but it's just, I'm okay no matter what happens. And getting to that kind of state will feel safe to them, and we'll open up ourselves to receive the thing that we're wanting. Make sense? There's a huge shift here, and it's beautiful when people can understand this and start to do this. This is when one of the most healing, amazing things happen. Yeah, Matt says yes, Scotty, yes. So we start increasing understanding as well. We increase understanding, and we come at them, not come at them, sorry. We interact with them like this. Like, I just want to understand you. I'm sure this has not been easy on you either. I'm wanting to become a better person myself. And whether this works out or not, I just want to understand you because I care about you. And I want to become a better person. Can you help me with that? Can you help me understand what you've been going through? Can you help me understand where you're coming from? What do you mean when you say this? And I just genuinely care about you, and I just want to understand. No pressure about the marriage. I just want to understand you. Can you guys sense that the difference there, like the shift there? They'll be like, oh, wow. They'll notice like a stark difference there. I do feel safe with that. He actually does, or she actually does want to understand me. We crave being understood. I know you crave being understood, right? Like, I wish my spouse understood where I'm really coming from. And so when you give that gift to them, they will reciprocate. And that's how we get communication going. And we start doing what actually works with a calm confidence. We're no longer in that desperation. All that panic and that fear has been replaced with calm confidence. All right. And this is a powerful, powerful progress here that we're able to make. Does that make sense? Scott says definitely. I don't know if that was answer to this one or the other question. Good. So I hope you guys were able to recognize that maybe I was making one of these mistakes. Maybe I have been pushing too much, and maybe I need to take some pressure off, and I need to increase my understanding, because that's going to make a big difference for me. Nicole says it does. Jody, yes. Awesome. So how good does that sound, right? Your spouse will feel safe to open up and communicate. Just remember, it's usually the ugly kind. It's usually the ugly kind. And so we need to have that perspective along the way. Now that we've opened up communication, that brings us to the third step, which is to build some trust, right? To rebuild some trust. And here we come to what we call ceasefire. And I love this phase, and our clients love this phase. And let me show you what happens here. We're going to shift the negative communication to neutral communication, okay? And we're going to do this by increasing that understanding. And as we do that, they're going to be able to feel more and more safe to open up. And they're going to start giving us the time of day, right? The arguments, the stonewalling, the volatility, all of that all those negative cycles, those negative habits that we've been in, those will have ended. And it won't be perfect. Like, you might go back and forth a little bit. It's never going to be like a perfect journey, but you're going to see so much progress that they're going to really feel like, hey, we're almost like friends, we're friends now. We can talk about anything. Often we'll see, rings being put back on fingers at this stage. We'll see spouses coming back home if there's been a separation, or coming back to the bedroom if they've been sleeping somewhere else, on the couch or something. And so we'll see this coming together. Or maybe you start going on dates again, or you just start having some really awesome conversations where you're talking about even some hard things, but you're doing it in a very respectful way. And you're building up that friendship. And here we often feel like, wow, I feel like we can talk about things we've, in a way we haven't talked about for years, or maybe we never even have talked about these things, right? And we often hear this like, wow, from our spouse, right? I'm so glad that we had this conversation. I'm so glad that you finally understand me. I'm so glad this, and this. I'm so glad we're friends now. And I'm so glad that we can co-parent. Did you catch that last one? Okay. We get to this level of like, we're friends, but they still want out. Because I'm always going to give it to you guys. I want to give it to you exactly like it's not always exactly the same journey for everyone, but we do see overarching patterns. And that's normally what happens at this stage. And then it feels like a huge punch in the gut, right? Because we've made all this progress, and our clients here often, they feel like so liberated. They're connecting, they're friends, they talk about things again. They've made so much progress and they feel like, oh, we're there, we've done it. And if they try to push towards a full reconciliation of the marriage, like renewing vows, they're always met with resistance still, okay? Because we're not done yet. So we've made progress, but we need to do the final step here, which is the full identity shift, right? We're going to build up that hope that they can be happy with us and close and seal the deal. Okay, sound good? So here in this final step, we've made all this progress, we become friends, but there's still some more work to do. And we have to systematically remove their old beliefs about us and replace them so they see themselves happy with us again. Now, here's what we don't do at this stage. We're not going to work on ourselves to achieve this, right? I want to make this so clear. It's not about working on yourself. It's about working on how your spouse views you, about changing their beliefs and working on those deeper root causes. Example, like we just can't say, you can trust me. I've shown you I'm trustworthy now, right? Show them that we're trustworthy, because saying and being are two different things. And without even noticing, here's the cool part, we've actually become a better version of ourselves. We've actually worked on ourselves and saved our marriage at the same time. So much better, right? Than just working on yourself and having your marriage end. We want to accomplish both. And this is how we do it. And here is the feedback loop that we give you, because it's really crucial that we get guidance, experts that specialize in exactly the challenges that we're facing. So we aren't left guessing, and that we know this is the process, okay? First, we need to know what to do. What do I do? If you're wondering that question, if it keeps you up at night, if you've got this knot of anxiety in your stomach, you're like, what do I do? What I'm doing isn't working. I need to know what to do, right? So we need to know what to do. 2, when to do it, because the same thing that works great for someone at one phase in their marriage would work awful and completely backfire in another phase of marriage, right? Matt says, yes, what do I do? Exactly. So my husband comes home and we like smother each other in hugs and kisses, and we're totally lovey-dovey in a really gross way. And it totally grosses out our kids, and it's awesome. But if we were really struggling and he came home and I just smothered him in kisses, that would totally backfire, right? So it's crucial that we not only know what to do, but we know when to do it based on what phase we're in the restoration process, so that we don't accidentally backslide or unconsciously push them away, right? And even when we make mistakes, we still need to know, okay, I went back to my old pattern, dang it, is all my progress lost? No, here's what to do. Now here's how we're going to do it and when to do it. Third, if we did it right, we have to have that feedback. I'm a huge self-improvement junkie, whatever. I love personal growth. And sometimes I'll read a book or I'll listen to a podcast or something, and I'll say, yeah, I'm going to go and do this. And I do my very best, but I have no idea if I actually did it right. I have no idea if I did it in the way that was intended. And in high school, I did basketball. And I know the importance of shooting a free throw and earning points for my team, right? But without a coach, I would have no idea often if I was doing it the correct way. And my coach would show me, hey, Heather, you twisted your hips. You need to square your hips up to the board. And, you need to put your fingers like this, and critique and give me that feedback, right? To know if I'm doing it right. That's why it's so crucial that we have that. Fourth, if we actually did it, which makes me laugh, but it's so true of human nature, right? Sometimes we'll hear something really great and we'll be like, yeah, nodding our head, this makes so much sense. This is exactly what I need to do. And then what do we do an hour later? We go right back to doing the same old thing we've always done, because changing our patterns and our habits and getting out of those cycles is hard. And so we need that accountability, that if we're actually even doing the things that we're supposed to do, right? So now that we know what to do, when to do it, if we did it right, if we're even doing it, and we've kind of mastered that step, we're like, yeah, I got this. Then the next thing is we need to know what the next steps are, right? What do I do next? Okay, cool. We've got communication open. It's ugly. but we're communicating. What do I do next? Oh, wow, the communication shifted to neutral communication and we're friends and we've gotten to the friend stage, but she still wants out. What do I do? Like she says, she still doesn't have romantic feelings for me anymore. What do I do? And so we repeat this loop over and over again, wherever you are on that spectrum, right? And that is how we get our spouse back. That's how we successfully restore our marriage. So here's what we don't do, right? We don't give up when it gets hard. Again, I'm going to be really, really real with you right now. And I want you to pay attention to this because this is important. Oftentimes here, it's going to get really bad. Bad, really, really bad, like really bad, okay? In fact, most of our clients, they want to give up and they think it's not working during this step. They've made all this progress. We're friends. We talk about everything. They came back home. We're going on dates, right? They say we are going to be good at parenting together. And then all of a sudden, boom, this thing happens. It must not be working. I'm backslid. I've lost all my progress, right? It's not true. But what's happening here is that at this point, your spouse is going to give you a test. Okay. It's not a conscious test. They're not consciously thinking, I'm going to test my spouse today. No. But what's happening is that they are starting to open up their heart to you. They are starting to open up to the possibility of being happy together and working on this together. Part of them is joined that team. And the other part of them is still rooting for the I should leave team. Okay. And what's going to happen is they're going to go back and forth in their mind and their heart, right? And in the interactions with you and test the waters to see if you're for real and if they can fully give their heart to you again. And we've identified there's about 12 tests that most spouses put you through before they finally change their belief about you. And we'll teach you how to pass all of them. So why are they doing this? Again, they're trying to see if you're going to go back to the cheating. They're going to see if you're going back to begging, to pleading, back to manipulating, back to ignoring you and not meeting your needs. And we're going to show you what to say in each of these tests. So your partner knows you are for real and they finally let their story about you go. And so I think of this kind of as the final battle of their defense mechanism to test your resolve to make this work with them. Like imagine like Mount Doom, right? With Lord of the Rings. This is the final test because their defense mechanism is coming up screaming at them, you're going to get hurt again. And if we pass these tests, and we don't even have to do it perfectly, honestly, but we'll show you how to pass them, then they're able to be like, okay, I believe you. And they put their story to rest and it's done. This is how we close the deal, right? So that example, I love you, but I'm not in love with you anymore, is like a gentle way of saying I am usually a compassionate person, but I know this is really painful. I'm going to try to make it less painful for you. And so they're going to be friends with you and like, yeah, we can co-parent and all these things. And then all of a sudden they're going to be like, you know what? I really care about you. I'm just not in love with you anymore. I don't have those romantic feelings. And boom, their story's like back in your face, right? And so you have to have that perspective and understanding it's just their defense mechanism rearing its head one last time. And part of them desperately wants you to show them that you're for real. They desperately want to give their heart to you again, but they're still holding on to a little bit of fear, a little bit of resistance. And so that's the last bit that we have to overcome here. And once they finally overcome that, then they can fully give their heart to us again. Make sense? Sound good? So I want to ask you, how good would that feel to replace the overwhelm with direction, to replace confusion with clarity, to replace fear and pain with hope and with peace? For me, that meant everything. And that is what having a coach on your side with the right method gives you. Jody says, amazing. Nicole, amazing. Matt. Scotty, awesome. Matt, again. So I want to ask you a question. We're almost here at the hour, but a lot of you might feel like this. How many of you feel like this right now, right? I know that I threw a lot of you here in the last hour, and it's a lot to take in. I encourage you to listen to the replay, which will be emailed you tomorrow. So if we had a way to continue to learn what you learned today, would you guys be interested? Okay, fire hydrant. Yeah, so we put together a special package today called our Path One-on-One Coaching. And it's a way for you to implement this over the next 12 weeks. Are you guys good if I share that with you? Nicole says, yes, she wants to know more. Scotty, yes. Matt, Emma, yes. Chris, strong muscles and a thumbs up. Yes, yes. All right, cool. Awesome, please. Perfect. All right, so let's go into that. Here's what it is. We have found that within 12 weeks of one-on-one coaching, we can help you achieve these 4 phases. And this is how it looks like with our one-on-one coaching sessions. We are, you know, we go deep into your marriage, the reasons why they're wanting out, and helping you with those conversation starters, getting that communication open, right? They're private, confidential marriage coaching sessions, international marriage experts here, right? And we show you the exact next steps that you need to take to get your spouse back and how to keep them long term. And that accountability and clarity on what to do, especially in how to navigate those initial conversations, how to navigate those really challenging conversations, how to get them to open up, how to uncover why they really want to leave instead of guessing or thinking that we know everything and then our marriage ending. Instead, now we're going to know all the reasons why they're leaving so that we can help them to let that story go and replace them with a new story about us. So this was from Tommy, April 4th this year. So a couple months ago, like a few months ago, he says, Wynn just had the first coaching call that my wife attended. So I want you guys to guess what phase he's in, okay? With all the phases, right? Is he in the open up communication or is he in the friend stage, right? In the ceasefire stage. And he says, we got a chance to talk about past hurts, which is the first time in a long time that we've done that. So really cool that they're able to talk about past hurts and he's happy about it. So they're doing it in a respectful way and they're able to resolve things here. So they're definitely at that ceasefire stage and working to let her story fully go. Okay. Scott just did an interview with us on our Thriving Marriage podcast. I encourage you to check it out. It's awesome. He talks really openly about how he struggled with alcoholism and pushed his wife away. And then he says here, so much has changed since the end of December, meaning December 2019. I would not have been able to withstand this current world crisis if I had not wanted something completely different than what I had only 3 months ago. My wife is an amazing individual, my soulmate, and I'm so fortunate to still have her. Our strengths have been tested over and over again throughout the years. The difference is now I don't feel like a victim. So again, I encourage you to check out Scott's full interview there. Shared that openly with his permission. So that's what the one-on-one coaching is. And then we also do, because we don't believe on just a 1 hour a session type model, right, of therapy, we're going to be in the trenches with you. We're going to have your back. We want to be there with you when you need us the most, right? And so we have weekly masterminds, and these are group sessions where you get to learn from other people going through marriage challenges and restoration themselves. It's a very small group done on Zoom, just like this, right? And we give you that extra support. Remember that feedback loop, what to do, when to do it, if you did it right, if you even did it, and then what to do next. So we give you that opportunity. So say you had a big fight one night, or let's say they just told you that, yeah, I did have an affair all these years and you've been wondering and now I confess to it, right? Or they come home and you notice that they took their wedding ring off, right? How do you handle those challenges? And maybe you got to one phase and you feel like you're kind of stuck there. How do I get to the next phase? What's the next steps, right? And so we offer that to you guys as a way to get extra support. You also learn from students that are ahead of you and they say, oh man, Matt, Jody, Erica, DK, all of you guys, I was where you are. You have to stick with the process. It works. So keep going. And they give you that kind of perspective of going through it themselves. And then eventually you'll be the senior student and you'll help the new people that are going through the same challenges that you went through and give them that kind of inspiration as well, which is so fulfilling, right? It feels awesome to help other people. Miriam says, feeling very thankful to be part of this, to be on this journey. Okay. Feeling very thankful to be on this program as I have made great improvements in my own life and which have helped in every aspect of my life, not just working on building my relationship back up. So here we talk about the working on yourself in addition to working on the marriage. It isn't either or, it must be both in order to get the relationship restored, right? So that's our weekly masterminds. And then we have our premium client-only 27 video training series. And this is incredible, guys. A lot of people underestimate this part, but here is really crucial because you're going to know and have confidence exactly what you should be doing and when the next steps are that you should be taking. It is a process. And with every video training, we give you an action item exercise for you to do. It's not about information, because we have enough information in this world, right? Here at High Thrive Coaching, it's about transformation. So what do you think you need more of? Do you need more information or more transformation? Right? I want to hear in the chat, information or transformation. And sometimes, I bet one of you guys is going to say it, it's a bit of both. Sometimes we still need to know the information, but we also need to know how to do it so that we actually see results, right? Matt says transformation. Cool. Both. Yeah, Emma. Exactly. And so with our 27 video trainings, that's what you get. It's not information, it's actual application. And we review every single one of your exercises and give you feedback and see how you're actually doing them in your day-to-day life, like in those conversations, in your text messages, in your phone calls, in your face-to-face interactions, all of it. Okay. Kelly sent this to me just a little bit ago. I just barely got started with this program. And last night, my husband, who had been involved with another woman for almost 2 years, I was unaware but knew something was horribly wrong, asked me to renew our wedding vows as soon as this pandemic is under control. Says, meaning, COVID, says we can just have pastor at the church we married and do it as soon as he's willing if I don't want to wait. I'm on cloud 9. Now I'm going to, give a little forecasting here. She still had to work to change the rest of the story. This was kind of the high followed by a low, but we got her through it. And she's doing an awesome job in restoring her marriage fully. So in addition to these things, we're also offering a 1 bonus SOS call. So say you just had a massive argument or, some situation that you just felt like, I need immediate help right now. In addition to your normal coaching session calls, then you're going to get this SOS call to use whenever you need it. So I want to ask you a question. If all of this program did, if all of it did was finally get you peace of mind so you could sleep at night, so you could finally sleep at night and not worry and wake up with anxiety, right? If all of it did was help you open up communication with your husband or with your wife so you could finally understand each other both ways, right? They understand you, you understand them. You have that communication open. If all of it did was do that, if all of it did was give you the ability to heal the pain you feel so that your heart is happy, so that you know that no matter what, I'm going to be okay. We're going to be okay. It's all okay, right? If all of it did, I laugh at this one, but it's true. If all of it did was save you $30,000 plus, which is the worldwide average, in divorce, attorney, real estate, dividing assets, selling businesses, child support, therapy for everyone, because everyone's going to need it, right? If all of it did was save you that, would it be worth it to you? I want to hear in the chat, you guys, would it be worth it to you if it gave you peace of mind so you could sleep at night, you could wake up feeling at peace, you could lay down knowing that you're doing what you need to do? Allison says yes. Nicole says yes. Jody, definitely. Cool. So it's worth it, right? Now we always have 2 choices, and I honor you no matter what your choice is. So the first option is you can do nothing. That's your choice, and you don't have to take advantage of this opportunity. That might be your journey, and that's fine. But a lot of people, they make a second choice here, and they make an investment in your marriage today. So I'm going to talk about what this package is and what it all entails, including the pricing, everything, so you can make a good decision for yourself. But here's the bad news. Unfortunately, we do limit the number of clients that we help each month so that we deliver the best results for them. And we're only accepting 12 new clients this month. We have actually already had, I think, 4, maybe 5 join. I think I just saw a notice during this right now that we had another join, which is awesome. And so we do limit how many we accept so that we can give them the best help available, right? And so I really encourage you, if this resonates with you, don't miss out, right? Because you don't want to be the one that's like, I waited too long and now I don't have that opportunity anymore. All right, you guys ready for the we have a couple different packages, okay? And we just put these together for you guys, specific for this masterclass. In fact, this is not given to our podcast audience. It's not given to our Thriving Marriage group, which is the fastest growing marriage group out there. It's not given on our website. It's literally only offered on this masterclass. So the platinum version is everything I just talked about. It's the one-on-one sessions for 12 weeks, the masterminds where you get to get in front of a coach as often as you need, right? The 27 video trainings and those bonus field reports. We normally charge about 10 grand for that. And I know it's worth it. In fact, I know it's worth way more than that. In fact, we've had people pay us even more than that. But that's not what I'm going to give it to you guys for today. Today it's just going to be $3,000 even. And so that's what our platinum program is. And if you're wanting the full shebang and all the support to know what to do, when to do it, how to do it, if you did it right, what the next steps are, how to navigate through all the complexities of where you are right now to where you really want to be, then this is going to be the best avenue for you. Okay. So if that is something that's like, wow, that sounds great, but maybe that's not the best fit for me. Maybe my marriage isn't bad a situation. Maybe I just need a little bit of help communicating. Maybe they're not having an affair. Maybe we're not facing divorce. Then this would be another good option for you. If you're facing one of those other things, though, then I really encourage you to do platinum. All right, so gold is that you're going to get one-on-one session a week instead of 2, and you get to go to 2 weekly masterminds. You do get the video training and the field reports. The field report's like the bonus SOS call. And that's going to be $900 with 3 payments. We can break that down. Instead of $3,000 up front, it would be 3 payments of $900 over the next 3 months. Okay. And if you want to join any of these here, you can go to highthrivelive.com/select-your-offer. I'm going to try to put it into the chat here. And I can't talk and type very well. So select your offer. Maybe you're typing with me. I wish we had a button on these things so that you could just, click on the button and maybe someday we'll get there. But anyway, that's what that one is. And that brings us to silver. And silver is where you get 1 30-minute session a week for 10 weeks. You get 1 weekly mastermind. So maybe this fits you better if you, like I said, have less problems and you don't need all of the coaching. You don't need all of it. This would be a good idea for you. And that's $550 a month for 3 months. And then bronze, you just get 2 one-on-one sessions total, not per week, but 2 one-on-one sessions in the entire 12 weeks, 1 weekly mastermind, the video trainings, and the bonus field reports. And that's $300 for 3 months. So these are the packages that we're offering for you right now. And of course, if you guys are wanting the most help, then to the first 5 people that join, we're going to offer not only 12 weeks of one-on-one coaching for those that join platinum, but 14 weeks. And so we are offering that to the first 5 people who join only. Again, this is going to be your best solution here if you are really wanting to restore your marriage quickly. If you don't have time to wait, you don't want to do it yourself, you don't want to do the guessing game, and you want a coach on your side to give you that guidance on how to become the better version of yourself, how to take the pressure off, how to emotionally process through the fear, through the pain, how to open up that communication, how to deepen that communication, build that understanding, and then finally help your spouse to let their story go. So Nicole asks, and I will do a Q&A here I have 3 minutes. And so Nicole says, how do we join? Over here at that URL, highthrivelive.com/select-your-offer. It's this green URL right up here. All right. And so I put it also here in the chat, highthrivelive.com/select-your-offer. And so if you guys have a specific question for me, I have, like I said, about 3 minutes. I'd love to answer any question that you have. If you need to go now, then I honor you for coming and I thank you. And I truly believe that family and marriage are sacred and that we have the opportunity every moment to make the most of our lives. And so it's up to us to take advantage of that time that we've been given. Life is a beautiful, precious, precious gift. This works even if your spouse is checked out, even if they're having an affair. A really awesome, inspirational and true client story is Leah on our YouTube channel. And I wanted to show that to you guys, but we're out of time. And she just shares very openly her experience in saving her marriage when her husband wanted out. And so if you want to know, we're really deep into an affair. Her husband said, I don't love you anymore. I'm in love with this other woman and I'm leaving. And they were just about to have their first child. In fact, she was just a month due when she found out and came to us. And going through that heartbreak, but knowing that she wanted to save her marriage, she wanted to have her family intact. And so encouraging him, like guiding her through that whole process of ending the affair, creating healthy boundaries, restoring trust. And now they have had another child and they're happier and better than ever before. And so guys, I understand that these challenges, stubborn and done, Nicole says, if your marriage doesn't have a chance, I encourage you to check out our podcast on that, that there's only 2 reasons why a marriage can't be saved. If your spouse has absolutely no communication with you, or if they're in an abusive situation, physically or sexually abusive, those are 2 situations that we cannot help. But even if you have some communication, your marriage can still be saved. And that's where most of our clients are when they start with us. And so now, like I was mentioning with Leah, like these challenges that you're going through are so hard, and yet they can be the best gift to you and your family ever, because you finally resolve those deeper issues going on in your marriage. So I appreciate you guys. I honor you. Thank you so much for coming. And my heart, my love, my appreciation flows out to you. Let's make the most of our lives, and we'll talk again soon. Bye.